welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Well, conversations at the just concluded African Economic Summit centered on resilience of Africa's financial system. Of course, Nigeria is included when you talk about the continent. Well, this is closely related to the theme of the 40th anniversary of Financial Institutions Training Center, FITC, and their theme is also on towards a shared prosperity in Africa. Well, we have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Chizo Malize, joining us now to tell us why they chose to discuss this at this time, and of course some other issues on the financial system in Nigeria. Good to speak with you, Ms. Chizo. So it's a beautiful red Monday.
It's a red day.
I guess it's the spirit.
Correct.
So you just celebrated, or you're still in the mood of celebration of your 40th anniversary. Can you speak to us on the heritage and the impact of FITC in the financial service sector? And, you know, this is 40. Next year we're doing 41, so and beyond.
Right. Thank you very much for having me. And thank you, Channels Television, for the great work that you do around this nation and beyond. FITC is, interestingly, set up to support the financial service sector, and that's through learning, knowledge solution, providing also advisory services to the industry. And it is recognized how important the financial service sector is to the Nigerian economy, and of course every economy. And so FITC is set up by mandate, by visionary founders, and set up by Government Act. We are under the supervision of CBN, NDIC, and of course the member banks, which are the Nigerian deposit money banks. The interesting thing is that it is an organization that over 40 years has consistently transformed itself, bringing learning and knowledge solutions to the industry, helping to equip and capacitate the industry workers and players so that they can be their best at all times and be able to foster growth in that industry as well as in the economy as well. And so 40 years of transformational leadership, 40 years of excellent programs, 40 years of impact.
4 decades.
4 decades. 4 great decades of impact.
So the anniversary has the theme towards a shared prosperity in Africa, the role of the financial system. Why is this conversation important at this time? Because even at the just concluded economic conference, African Economic Summit, we also had, you know, the theme close to financial system and all that, with Omicron in the air and other variants of COVID-19. Why is this an important conversation at this time?
It is a very important conversation to have because the African economy offers significant opportunity for each of the individual countries, of course, and the continent as a whole. Several continents have taken opportunity of scale to either create opportunities, create markets, expand trades, and all of that. So it becomes necessary that Africa must begin to look that way. So anywhere in the world that you travel, Africa is the most difficult place to travel around. I've lived and worked in 8 African countries. It's easier to go to Europe and back to Africa than to travel to some of the African countries. But there is a whole lot of opportunity for a continent of over 50 countries. And the opportunities come from collaboration around businesses, around technology, around innovation, because we are also able to not only scale that, but transfer and catalyze growth across the entire continent. And you know what it's like, Formidable One, for instance. That's what we could become. And there are loads and lots of opportunities in Africa. Think about a very youthful population in Africa. Think about the ingenious young people. Think about what they are doing with technology and innovation. And think about how all of that can stimulate and catalyze growth in the economies of the entire countries within the region. There is no way that we would never be better if we do not. We would be better the moment we begin to have a common vision with regards to growth, trade, innovation, technology, and transfer of opportunity.
Yeah, it's very interesting, you know, that you said that, because that's always been on my mind. That kind of bothers me, you know, talking about your experience traveling around the continent to move from one country to the other, currency convertibility. These things become hindrance. Do we see ourselves as competition instead of complementing, you know, our efforts, our resources, and then, you know, coming as one market one regional market to make the most of our potential?
Well, I wouldn't say competition. I think it's much more of people looking inwards, and then vision is what drives such collaboration. So the moment that each of the countries are able to get ahead and realize that we need each other, we can hold each other's hands to rise, then these collaborations will begin to happen, and it will foster trade. So from visionary leadership onto the people, onto creating opportunities for organizations, for companies, for businesses, for individuals to be able to cross-trade across borders.
And when we talk about crossing borders and going against or overcoming these hindrances, how can this be harnessed? How can we harness the continent's wealth using the financial services sector?
So the financial system is a very, very solid one. And I'm very delighted and excited about Nigeria that is basically leading in the financial system across Africa. We've got a minimum of 8 Nigerian banks with transactions and offices and representations across African countries. Some over 20 branches in 24 countries, some over 8, some over 10, and many more. As a matter of fact, I worked in some of the Nigerian financial service brands when I did the 8 African countries that I worked in, representing each of these banking brands. So you find that the maturity of the financial service system, the structure, the processes, and the diligence from policy, regulation, and all of that, bringing all of this into the system equips it and makes it to be solid. But the other part also is the fact that the financial service sector is also creating products and programs that are transferable, that can also elevate and create wealth. Whether you take a look at the financial inclusion opportunities with telecoms and telecommunication products that have also helped to scale financial services. So whether you're talking about M-Pesa in Kenya, whether you're talking about all of our 9Mobile and all of the companies around here who've developed fantastic mobile banking solutions that helps to reach the lower range of the market. All of this is bringing expansion and opportunity across the continent. And our own brands in Nigeria, financial service brands, have started to help SMEs to be able to do much more. So whatever, no matter how small your business is, you are able to transact and receive your payments and make payments to other third parties, even as SMEs. So these are a lot of the things that the financial service system is bringing in to be able to develop and catalyze growth in Nigeria and across board, the entire continent.
And FITC is the collaborating factor?
We are dotting all of the I's. We are the connecting rods, and we're very excited about that. In our very recent summit, which you mentioned and spoke about, in commemoration of our 40th anniversary, we were able to bring, as a foremost forward-thinking learning institution, we were able to bring fantastic people to the platforms to be able to share thoughts and ideas. The keynote speaker at that summit was the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of South Africa, and then we've got other speakers from Nigeria, from the telecoms, from banking, and insurance, because even insurance got products that can scale the entire economy. And so besides these high-powered thought leaders who were, industry experts and thought leaders in their own right, we had a minimum of close to 2,000 people who keyed onto this program from the whole of Africa, representing a minimum of 38 countries of Africa. And everybody heard this. Everybody took learning. A good number of them central bank workers from all the countries in Africa, financial service experts, people who work in the financial service sector, and people who see and are seeking opportunity for such growth and prosperity we're talking about. So those are the kind of things that FITC does with thought leadership. We bring the best of resources across the continent, and we also create content and create solutions, knowledge solutions, thought leadership, and put people on the platforms so that they can share learnings with individuals, creating more stimulations around the economy.
And, when we talk about Africa, one platform that excites me is the AFCFTA, but I don't know, where are we? I mean, you guys are in the financial system, and it's one thing, that could bring the markets together.
I do know that it's being embraced. For everything that is new, there is a traction, there is a phase, and I'm sure that you can see that a number of countries are beginning to record success with that. You can tell that even our neighbors, Ghana, whether we like it or not, we're going to start doing much more with Ghana, even though we had been doing in the past. And before you know that, it will transcend and then trickle down across board. I know very well that a lot of countries are excited about it, but for everything that is new, there is a phase, and we would get to that point where the country will be totally united with that.
So we cannot have conversations and not mention COVID, especially not with the new variant Omicron. So let's talk about the impact of the pandemic on the economy and how FITC has provided innovative solutions. You know, the world is going virtual. A lot of things that we never thought. I mean, we hold meetings now. We have events virtually now. What impact or what difference has COVID brought, and how has it been embraced in the financial sector?
It's a very lovely thing to talk about for us at FITC. Prior to COVID pandemic, which came in the first quarter of 2021, 2020, that was last year.
Yes.
We had part of our strategic vision was to move learning to become predominantly digital. Because as part of our digital transformation program, we recognize that technology and innovation is driving the way that we all live. And that also includes within the learning space. So for us, we recreated our programs so that we can be more technology driven. And so by the time that COVID hit, we were very ready and able to roll out all of our programs, migrating from 98% physical to 99% digital and online. So one of the things that we did was helping the industry keep alive by providing content, relevant knowledge to keep them abreast and ahead while the world was wondering what to do with COVID. And the industry is so excited about the way that FITC took the lead in doing that, driving knowledge digitally so that wherever people are, they could learn more, they could be more, they could become much more efficient in the ways that they operate. So COVID was a remarkable period for us positively, and our industry is excited about that impact.
And what do you see when you look at the financial landscape in Nigeria? What do you see, say, in the next 5 years? Are we doing well? Are we on the right track? Are there some factors that should be imputed, you know, to help the system grow faster, you know, than the rates that we're doing at the moment?
I do think that we are gradually doing well. The good thing is that we've got policymakers, we've got the Central Bank of Nigeria, we've got the Ministry of Finance, we've got all of these policymakers that come together to check the trends and indices and with fantastic insight help to put us on the right track. For every area and every business, there is always a traction. So you would notice that whichever the indices of the economy that you take a look at, there is growth relative to what is happening everywhere in the world, coming and pulling out from COVID. So we are not in a bad place. We would not say that we are all optimistic because we are putting structures and systems in place. And then the greatest thing also is that there is measurement, there is tracking, there is monitoring, and there is also reporting. So there's transparency in the way and direction with which the economy is being looked after.
Yeah, well, certainly.
And I would also talk about the role that we play at FITC in ensuring that even the industry, the financial service system, is supported to do all of this. And that's very important because we are delighted about this significant input in making sure that these things get advanced. So whether you take a look at our learning, we're helping organizations find new learning solutions, drive capacity, build capacity for their people so that they can be the best they can and as much as do so much for the industry. Through our advisory services, we're also providing companies advisory solutions and giving them direction in the way they ought to go and the opportunities they can take. And that also includes our policy advocacy work with CBN, NDIC, and all of those. So all work together to get the results that we would love to see.
All right, Ms. Chizo Malize, I will say congratulations on your 40th once again, and we look forward to greater impacts from FITC.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Thank you, yes.